This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
The PED virus, or PEDV, is a virus that infects the cells lining the small intestine of a pig, causing porcine epidemic diarrhea, a condition of severe diarrhea and dehydration. Farm Factor sat down with an expert in the swine industry at Kansas State University to talk about the virus. And we found out a large majority of pigs' numbers are down as a direct result of this virus.
The majority of the pig numbers that were down in the United States currently is a direct result of PEDV. Our swine production numbers, the herd actual production of our sows has been increasing over the last couple years, and so without this disease we'd actually predict to see an increase in numbers based on our total productivity. So the decreases that we've seen this summer has been a direct result of the impact of PEDV that affected our sow herds this winter as well as early spring.
The virus is affecting all parts of the state and scouring across the Midwest to other farms as well.
The majority of the industry has been affected by PED. They estimate somewhere around 60% of the sow herd in the United States had been affected over the past year. Many of our Kansas producers were part of that, but there's certainly many independent producers in Kansas that were not affected, which has been very good for their operations in terms of being able to sustain their full numbers with the high market prices that we've had this summer.
The PEDV acts in young piglets by cutting off their nutrition.
The PED virus, it affects in the digestive system, and so this is a digestive system infection. And what happens is the PED virus attaches and kills the mature endocytes. And what that is, it's basically the finger-like projections in our stomachs, just like humans or in the small intestine, that absorb nutrients. And so what happens then is, since the pig cannot utilize, the baby piglet can't absorb those nutrients that are essential for its life. It gives it severe diarrhea, and then ultimately it dies of starvation within a couple days.
If producers wonder if they've been affected, the first sign is severe diarrhea from the herd.
One of the first things that producers would notice if their herd became infected is just severe diarrhea, since the pigs are no longer able to absorb the nutrients and water as well in their small intestine. In fact, it just causes severe diarrhea, and so that is certainly one of the first cases, symptoms that would be seen, especially in young piglets. Interestingly, as in more mature animals such as sows or finishing pigs, they may or may not develop diarrhea because their digestive system is much more advanced and mature.
The actual virus was first discovered in Europe, but has become increasingly problematic in Asian countries such as Korea, China, Japan, the Philippines, and Thailand. It has also spread to North America and was found discovered in the States soon after.
The PED, since it was introduced last April in 2013, there was a number of cases at that point and really began to start to spread across the U.S., but it was much more suppressed in summer.
After the break, we talk with Kansas State University and how they're developing a cure and medication at their research labs. Thank you for watching this segment of Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. We'll have more right after the break.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
PED virus, or PEDV, is a virus that affects the cells lining the small intestine of a pig, causing porcine epidemic diarrhea, a condition of severe diarrhea and dehydration. Farm Factor sat down with an expert in the swine industry at Kansas State University, and we found that Kansas State is currently in the development of processing the virus and finding a cure.
Kansas State has an active program dealing with PEDV, mainly in our veterinary college, where they can work with the virus in a controlled area where it doesn't get out and potentially affect swine operations.
Kansas State University also has a Kansas State Diagnostic Lab for testing. KSU reminds producers to contact your local vet and then send in samples.
Our KSU Diagnostic Lab has been very active in testing for producers. We recommend that all producers, if they have a suspected case, their first line of defense is their herd veterinarian. Getting the veterinarian involved is very critical to have them out and help diagnose. If it is PEDV, fecal samples are collected and then sent to our K-State Diagnostic Lab, and all the information is available on the Diagnostic Lab website here at K-State, as well as local veterinarians. They work with the Diagnostic Lab on a whole plethora of diseases and testing, and they're well versed in how to get samples into our Diagnostic Lab here at K-State.
Stay tuned for more Farm Factor.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.